patio, heated deck, or indoor dining room. The Highside Bar and Grill offers seasonal cocktails, a full menu, and daily rotating specials. They also have live music every weekend featuring local and visiting musicians. They're located at 300 West Sackett Avenue in Salida, and their website is thehighsidesalida.com. And Cahan is also supported in part by Colorado Sports Recycler. CSR offers ski tuning, dry top repair, and full-service bike shop. Their consignment retail space features secondhand bikes, clothes, river gear, and whatnot. The Colorado Sports Recycler also offers a plethora of snarky stickers to meet all your sarcasm needs. Find them on Highway 50 between Blake and Palmer. You can call them at 719-221-2880, but they probably won't answer. Good morning, Salida. Welcome to the Riverflow Live. I am so grateful to have in my studios Shareena Griscom. She's sitting here with her guitar. I met this young lady probably 2 or 3 years ago at an open mic. I believe it was the High Side, and she literally just floored me with her strong voice. She got good stage presence. It's like, my gosh, why isn't this lady playing more music? And she plays about once a year at an open mic, and she shines, and everyone's wowed. And I found out that she's playing the Joshua Bean Gallery, and I reached out to her and see if she would come in and help promote, her gig and stuff, and she agreed. So I'm so happy. Cahan listeners, I want to welcome Shareena Griscom to the Hen House. Oh, I guess I ought to turn on you. It helps if you turn on the guest mic. Welcome, Shareena.
Thanks, Jim.
I am so happy to have you here.
Me
My
too. I'm
gosh,
happy to be here.
this lady has such a strong voice. She also runs the traveling dog groomer. You've seen the little shuttle bus that she's converted in. She comes to your place and does excellent dog grooming. She has tons of experience. She's also this badass river mama, river guide. It's like, my gosh, she gets all the good permits, or has friends that have good permits.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't get any this year.
It's like, man, it's like I see all these epic river trips, and I go, she's living the dream. So, welcome, Shareena.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jim. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
This is also my first radio debut, so I've never been on the radio before.
Welcome. I hope it's not too intimidating. We're
Not
just
too much,
a couple
no.
friends sitting around in the
Yeah,
studio.
right?
And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And you got a gig tonight.
I do, yeah. And it was kind of, I don't know, that's how Salida is so belly to belly, right? So I didn't plan on this happening at all, but a couple weeks ago, I played a gig up at High Lonesome Boutique in Buena Vista. They were having a Galentine's event up there, and a friend of mine who works there and who knows that I'm trying to make more of an effort to invest more in my music, kind of pushed me and was like, you should probably do this gig. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I will. And then just last week, I was at the meeting for the First Fridays because I'm working for Coffee by Topo right now, helping Katie get that opened up and whatnot. So I was over at the meeting for her because she was too busy to come, and met all the, First Street artists and things like that, met Tina. And after that, one of the artists, Kat, was like, hey, why don't you play a gig at, for First Friday? And so I didn't mean for it to happen, but I'm really excited about it. So
I am too. You're such a talent. I wish that, did you ever play with Bonnie Culpepper at any point?
I did very briefly, and it was one of those things too, where she was playing at High Side, and I talked to her, kind of during the middle of her break or whatever, and was like, hey, would you want to play together or whatever? And she's like, yeah, come on, play a song. And
I think I was there, and Alex was playing with her
Yeah,
and stuff, and you
yeah.
guys got up, and there was like, holy cow.
Yeah, that was so cool. And to be honest, after she died and at the service, everyone who was there, I think, was really reflecting the collective energy that Bonnie had shared with people. And I think a big piece of that was that her passion for inspiring other musicians, especially people who felt like they weren't ready to start, or you didn't have enough experience or whatever it was. And I think she really propagated this idea of music is life, and it doesn't matter, whether you think you're good or not. And after she died, I was like, why am I holding back?
This is awesome. Yeah, she affected us all in a very positive way, and she's sorely missed. But, positive things come out of things like this. So, and we got you in the studio, and you're getting gigs now. So hopefully, we got a lot of people tuned in, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to write more songs this year. I don't really have like a New Year's resolution hard rule. Usually each year it's kind of just a reflection of like what I'm already working on at the time. And you know, we were just talking about this before we went on air, but I'm recently sober, and so part of my like intention around sobriety and kind of intention in life right now is it's so silly, but it's like this one little catchphrase that like got me going, and it's the thing that's kind of, I don't know, my mantra lately, and that is like, when is someday going to become day one? Like, when is it going to go from one day to day one? And if it's not day one today, like, stop worrying about it. And so, you know, with music and things like that, it's like, why have I kept putting this off for some time in the future when I could just like lower my standards for myself to some extent, just so that I can like have a habit of creating, instead of having a like existential crisis about like the quality of my creation all the time that's preventing me from actually doing it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I just feel better being sober. I'm not necessarily anti-alcohol.
Yeah.
Some people can handle it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel just better without it. So.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't recommend sobriety. It sucks.
But it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It changed my life. I mean, literally, and it put me in a state of gratitude. And that's how I wake up and try to live my life.
Yeah.
You know, like my mantra: be kind, be grateful, make somebody smile today.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's hard to be grateful. At least for me, it was hard to be grateful when I was, you know, drinking. And,
right.
And it was like, I think because part of, at least for me, you know, the hardest part of sobriety was learning why I was drinking in the first place, you know, and coming to terms with like, oh, it's like overwhelming to be me sometimes. And sometimes I want to escape, or sometimes I want to just like turn my brain off.
We all have past traumas and stuff we're trying to escape or forget.
Right. And I think alcohol is this like external, or whatever, it could be anything, honestly, is this external thing that you go looking for in order to get something. And then the process now is like when I have, because I still have the seeking, right? That's never going to go away. But when I have that seeking of like reprieve or whatever it is that I want to change my state of existence or my state of experience, I then say to myself, okay, what about this experience do I want to not experience, and why? And then the seeking becomes like, oh, I have within me the ability to, you know, get relaxation or reprieve or whatever it is, as opposed to trying to find this like external thing that's going to provide, you know.
I agree completely. Yeah.
And that's where the gratitude comes in, where it's like, oh, I have the ability to control the way that I perceive things, and I have the ability, I don't need something external to like change my experience. And also like, you know, I don't expect myself to have positive experiences 100% of the time. So, you know, the rest of those experiences aren't just trash because they're not positive. You know,
it's how we react to the negative experiences.
Yeah.
That matters. So.
Yeah, and you got to lean in sometimes. You know. Yeah.
We all have them, but I choose to look at the positive in most everything and stuff.
Yeah.
And turn off the news. That's the worst thing for my psyche, is watching the news. It's like, oh my gosh. You know, you go down that deep spiral, and it's like, life is really good. It's like there's a lot of good, positive things happening.
Yeah. So, I mean, Saletta is a little bit of a bubble in that way, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to be, I don't want to say pessimistic, but I'm just such a feeling person. You know, like I experience a lot of different sensory experiences.
Are you an empath?
I'd say so, but I think also, like, I'm just a highly sensitive person, you know. As a kid, they'd, like, call me a whatever, I don't know what the term is for it, but, and so for me, being able to, like, categorize and filter out these experiences without labeling them as good or bad, you know, and just allowing that kind of, like, rainbow of sensation to be part of being human, you know.
And you're writing original songs now. You've got one that's going to debut today.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. I've heard you do covers, and you're just like, oh my gosh, she's got it.
Thank you.
She's
I love
really
to.
Got it. I love covers.
Me too. I mean, I think that any way that we can connect with music is valuable, you know, regardless of, I don't know, how good or bad we are. But yeah, should I play a song? What do you think?
Please.
Okay.
I'd love it.
I'm gonna play a cover first, and I'm gonna play this one because my hands are tiny and bar chords are hard. So we're gonna start with the hard one. This is a song called "Working Man's Blues," and it's by The Devil Makes Three. And let me know how I sound in here. Ooh, fingers. Jim, I'm gonna take off these headphones if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You make yourself at home.
Okay, I'm like, I can't hear myself.
I keep mine on just so I can adjust the sound and everything. Watch these meters.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, here we go. And am I okay sitting here? Do you need me to point at the mic more or anything?
No, you're just fine.
Sounds good. They say times are getting hard on a working man. Yeah, they say times are getting hard on a working man. I don't care what time it is, or what's mine, now what's his. Wanna pull my wagon with my own two hands. They say there's not enough here to go around. Yeah, they say there's not enough here to go around. I don't mind doing bread and salt, but when it comes to tobacco, it's each man's own. If you brought your own bottle, come on and sit right down. Seems like everybody wants to bring you down. Yeah, sometimes it feels like everybody wants to bring you down. Don't go home and slash your wrists. Just come out fighting with both your fists. No, you don't believe me, but things sure could turn around. Feels like I've been down this lonesome road before. Yeah, feels like I've been down this lonesome road before. Sometimes I get to moving and I fall down flat. You know I took a beat, but I ain't done yet. Something keeps me getting up and coming back for more. They say times are getting hard on a working man. Yeah, they say times are getting hard on a working man. I don't care what time it is, or what's mine, now what's his. Gonna pull my wagon with my own two hands. Gonna pull my wagon with my own two hands.
Woo! Yeah. I like that. Who wrote that song?
That is The Devil Makes Three.
I love The Devil Makes Three.
Yeah,
I've
they're
seen
great.
them before.
Yeah, me too. I saw them when I lived in Portland for like 5 years, and they used to play there all the time.
It's a cool town.
Yeah,
Good
like
music
Portland.
town.
Yeah, no kidding. I lived there from 2009 to 2014. So, and I think, I mean, there was many wonderful things that came out of me being in Portland, but one of them was, you know, the band Fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So Jacob used to play, he used to do an open mic at this place called the Pub at the End of the Universe. And it was this like tiny, weird little bar on like 35th and I can't remember where it was, Holgate or something. Anyway, so I would go to this, it was like right when I turned 21. And so I go to Jay's open mics all the time. And ended up like kind of becoming friends with the band. And so every time they come into town, I try to pop in and say hi to them. But during that whole, I don't know, 2009, 2010, 2011, like there was some amazing bands playing in Portland, like so cool.
Is Fruition a Portland band?
They're, yeah, originally.
I didn't know that. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah, so a couple of them are from Idaho, and Mimi's from Georgia, and Kellen's from California, but they all got together in Portland.
You know Zippy here in town.
Mm-hmm.
He's friends with them and played with them and stuff. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love them. They're great. I'm like, I can't believe, like, I mean, they're so impressive in so many ways, but the fact that they're like still together 15 years now at least.
Seems like I played something of theirs today
Oh,
or
yeah?
last week or something. Fruition song. Maybe it was last week.
I'm actually going to Portland at the end of the month for a quick visit, and Mimi Naja and Lindsay Lou are going to play while I'm there, so I'm going to try to catch their show.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You still got a group of friends and family up there?
No family, but friends for sure. So yeah, I'm only there for like 5 days, so it'll be a short
Nice
visit.
little getaway.
Yeah, it's half fun, half not fun. The reason I'm going is because I've had some of my like childhood things stored at a friend's, like she's got a big like warehouse garage sort of thing outside of Portland, and something happened, I'm not sure yet, out of nowhere she was like, I'm so sorry, you're gonna have to come get your stuff by April 1st, and this was like a month ago.
She sold the building or something?
No, I think she's got to rent it out or something like that to get some more revenue, or I'm not sure exactly. But so I'm like, oh crap, like I've got like 8 huge Tupperwares worth of stuff from my childhood, like at her house.
Gotta get that.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna like drive, so I'm gonna fly there and then try to like
Rent a van or something, or?
I think right now what I'm gonna do is I'm bringing a friend, and Southwest will do like 2 free checked bags. So we're gonna try to put as much as we can into some big suitcases, and then whatever doesn't fit, I'll either like ship it back or mail it or have to get rid of stuff. So I'm gonna get to Portland and be like, okay, dive into my like past and like siphon.
It'd cull the herd and go through what do I want, what I don't want. Oh.
Yeah, so I'll do that first, and then after I get that out of the way, I'll do like fun stuff. And part of why I'm going there as well is, like I mentioned before, I'm working for Coffee by Topo, and so I'm gonna go like do some coffee research and take a class while I'm there, and like
that's awesome.
Have a couple days to like run around Portland and taste all the delicious, amazing coffee that it has to offer, and hopefully eat some food.
There's a few of them up there.
Oh, there's some like really famous roasters there, like Heart Roasters is one that we actually serve in Topo.
Very good.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's a tax write-off for business.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and you know, I love Salida for its community, and it's like there's so many amazing organic symbiotic relationships that kind of pop up, you know, and I'd love to tell this Topo story because I think it's great, and I'm so proud of Katie as well. You know, you may have seen her food cart at the farmers markets, right? Her little coffee cart. And so during COVID, she started it with a bicycle and a bike trailer, and she was making, she was making chai and like.
She was delivering chai every Friday to me at 10 o'clock. So I was already coffeeed out, but I wanted something. So I got this golden milk and kai. And
yeah, absolutely. And so she started with that. Then it evolved to like a scooter, and then it evolved to the truck doing deliveries, and then it was like catering, and then, you know, she got the horse trailer and she converted it, you know, so now she's doing farmers markets here and in Crested Butte.
Yeah, I was up in Crested Butte last summer and went to the farmers market. There was Katie. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know she was doing that.
Yeah, so great.
Now she's got this great retail space on F Street.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's the old Sunshine Market building. So, and as we know, it's had many different occupants since COVID. And so I think Gina's really excited to have Katie in there, and we're currently closed for renovations. But just so everyone knows, March 8th, we will be reopening.
Grand opening. That's next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. And the only reason, like you said before, I've got my own business, but in end of September, I had done 2 back-to-back Grand Canyon trips last year.
That's got to be some stories in there too. I'd love to hear about.
But I ended up at the end of September. I herniated my disc in my back. Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
I
got 7. I got 7 words you can't say up there.
Okay, good. I probably won't say those. It's okay. I'll just skip my curse word.
There. And don't say banana. Oh, I said it. Bananas.
Well, anyway, I fucking sneezed. That is how I'm so sorry. That's the word I was supposed to say. I sneezed.
She freaking sneezed.
Sneezed. Exactly. I sneezed, and that is how I blew out my back. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah, welcome to 35.
Gosh, are you getting any relief from that?
Yeah, I've got PT, had an MRI, I'm doing a lot better now than I was. But at the time,
injections in it or something?
No, I didn't have to do that, thankfully. It wasn't that severe, but it was probably I was pretty much on bed rest for a month. Yeah.
As active as you are, did that drive you crazy?
I went insane, and I also had chosen to start being sober a month before I hurt myself. So I was sober when this was happening, which was good. But
so you rode out that storm. You can survive anything now.
I mean, it was definitely something
It's
I
a
heard.
character builder.
Yeah, I think something I heard recently was the first year, the pain of my first year of sobriety was the base for my spiritual foundation. And I really feel that, there was no escaping. And, with nerve pain, it's you can't even take painkillers because it doesn't even kill the nerve pain, But at that point, I was having a whole existential crisis because what am I going to do? I have a business, it's got expenses. I got to pay rent, it's expensive to live here. What am I going to do? And around the same time is when Katie opened up the brick and mortar building. And so she was kind of hey, why don't you come work at the coffee shop, get you some hours. And then it's kind of evolved from there to be dog grooming is great. I can only do small dogs right now. I can't do any big dogs until I'm
until you can lift and everything.
I can't really lift stuff yet. So anyway, I've been able to work for Katie, which has been awesome. And that's kind of further evolved into me. I'm just such a nerd, and I love the science around pretty much everything. And so learning about coffee, I got really passionate about understanding the science of things. And the kind of intention for the space is for it to be, really curated, high quality coffee experience in a very welcoming, inclusive atmosphere. So, not being pretentious about our coffee, but also still offering education and serving, we want to serve really high quality, good coffee that's where we understand the mechanics and the science behind it, and we're wanting to, kind of uplift that standard a little bit. So,
that space is perfect, and I don't know what the hours of topo is, but it'd be perfect for music, solo, and some, small artists and poetry readings and stuff the old coffee shop bookstores,
Yes, absolutely. We're totally open to that stuff. So when we open, it's going to be, we're going to change our hours. So we're going to open from 7 to 4 for the time being. And, shoulder season is always a little bit weird. But once we're in full swing, we may extend that another hour, but it'll kind of just depend on staffing.
It's a perfect place for live music on Fridays and Saturdays or something.
Yeah, totally. And we're working on our liquor license as well. So we're going to try to have, beer and wine and whatnot. That's also in the bureaucratic zone. So we'll see what happens with that process. But we're about ready to apply. So,
it took me about 6 weeks to detoxify off alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And then I literally had an awakening. Woke is kind of a political thing anyway, but I had an awakening and just realized I don't need it. It's my life is pretty blessed, and it's look where I live and my friends I have and what I'm doing. It's it's everything I've dreamed of. So
we're gonna
so why am I drinking?
Right?
So,
yeah. We're going to have plenty of like NA options and stuff too, you know, for people. But you know, I think also too, a lot of people would love to come sit and enjoy a beer on that little patio.
And there's a lot of people doing mocktails and zero alcohol. When I go to Woods, Taylor, the mixologist there, she makes me, they call it a Jim's mocktail.
Oh, really?
She knows what I like.
Oh, I have to go try
this
that.
town is so supporting of me being sober. When I go in, most of the places carry sparkling waters now because I felt bad about drinking out of a tap or something.
Yeah.
I want to support them, but I'm not drinking anymore.
Right.
So they have LaCroix or whatever, you know.
Yeah, no, I love that. You
So.
got to have a fizzy drink. I mean, for sure. We've got some really fun stuff cooking up for the menu for Topo for the summer too that I'm pretty excited about.
Are you guys just having drinks? Are you gonna have food there too? Or?
Yep, there'll be breakfast burritos for sure. You know, a lot of things with Coffee by Topo, they've evolved organically. You know, so like once we realize that there's a need for something, then kind of working on that. And eventually we're definitely going to work on more food. For right now, we'll definitely have these amazing breakfast burritos from Boomtown. They're based out of Del Norte, and they're like these awesome, delicious burritos. So we're stoked to have them in. And then we'll have Soup of the Day from Nancy's Soups.
That's awesome.
Which she's been in there previous to our closing. So yeah, it's going to be cool.
And you have someone in there selling fresh cut flowers in their bouquet.
Yeah, Jules. Yeah, well rooted. Yeah. So she's in there usually every morning before she goes to work, you know, and she's making bouquets and whatnot. So we'll still have Jules in there with her fridge. So, and she also does. If you ever want like a specialty bouquet, you can just message her and reach out to her about that. And there's been a ton of vendors in there as well. There's a Lone Wolf Collective, which is a jeweler. And then Gina sells her Sunshine Botanicals, which are like these amazing like face creams and arnica creams. There's also, I'm gonna feel bad if I forget someone, River Station Gear, which is a company based out of Canyon City, that they're making whitewater gear bags, and we've got little like, you know, fanny packs and stuff from them. And then
That's
also
awesome.
our own little Topo swag that we saw too.
She's got a lot of cool swag too.
Yeah, there's
And a
lots
cool
of good
hat.
stuff.
This is being streamed on Cahan's Facebook page, so if you want to see your Topo hat.
Yeah, I got I'm brandishing my brand here.
That's cool. I'm so happy for you and Katie, and that's a cool retail spot. And it's next Friday is the grand opening?
Yeah, March 8th.
March 8th at what time?
We'll be open at 7.
7 a.m.
So, yeah, 7 a.m. to 4. And then our hours will be Friday through Tuesday. So we'll be closed Wednesdays and Thursdays for now. Once we start to get busier and like the staffing stuff works out, we'll be open 7
Maybe
days
if
a week.
I ask Mark to go get me a coffee or something next Friday, he'll do it for me. If I buy his or
Right,
something.
yeah. Yeah, no more deliveries for right now. Sorry. I'll be too busy.
Not on that motor scooter anymore.
No.
Got golden milk on delivery.
Yeah, right.
I was spoiled with that, and she quit. I was like, what?
I know. We'll still do catering though. So if you guys ever want stuff here in the office and you want like a carafe of goat milk, we absolutely do that.
I may take you up on that.
Yeah,
I wish you
no
wouldn't have said
kidding.
that.
Yeah, river season's coming up too. I mean, we were just talking about the weather, but it's uncharacteristically warm and dry, but I hope we get enough snow to have a good flow this year.
I bought a new ducky last year and made a couple
you?
runs, and I'm anxious to get it out.
Oh, yeah?
I got to change the seat in it. I got a top, is it a Tomcat? Solo Max? Tomcat Solo Max.
Yeah,
I didn't like the seat, and I kept slipping down into
Yeah,
it, so I'm going to
that's
upgrade,
fun.
go to the River Works or whatever that place has some
Yeah.
good seats.
Have you done much boating? I'm sure you have.
Not a whole lot. I'm from Oklahoma, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, duckies will definitely give you a definitely unique experience on the water.
Well, I had a very positive experience because I've been putting off a shoulder surgery for years and years and years. And I got it out on the river, and I'm not used to using that. And something happened to my shoulder, so last October I had it replaced.
Oh, dang.
And it feels so good now.
Oh, good.
If I didn't get on the river and buy that ducky, I probably wouldn't have. I'd be putting it off again, just living with it. And stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's
life
good.
is good without pain.
No kidding. I know. I'm
I hope
working
your
on
back gets better.
My back is doing really good, but my hip is the problem now. So I'm getting another MRI. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm turning, my birthday's actually in like 2 weeks.
You're my daughter's age.
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm 35, about to be 35. So, I mean, I spent almost 6 years as a whitewater guide, and I've spent 20 years riding horses, and however many things
Live
I've
hard
done.
and play hard. And
It catches up to you eventually, apparently.
Wear them out. And then you get them replaced, and you just like going to the auto mechanic.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Get your
God.
brakes changed.
I hope I don't have to have surgery. Ugh, I'm gonna do everything I can to not do that. Hopefully, it doesn't happen anytime soon.
Well,
So.
if it does, it's for the good.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I'm at this point where like it seems like it can be resolved mechanically with PT and stuff. I'm finally lifting weights at PT, which like feels like a huge, like progressive moment, because God, there's probably, I would say, a period of 2 months at least where like I was like, I would have a conversation with my socks every morning, be like, all right guys, we're gonna get on today. And like it was like I couldn't touch my feet. It was like a whole solid week I couldn't take my socks off. And to be where I am now, it's just like, holy crap, I can't believe.
Well, that's the best part about when we get around May is I put on my Chacos and I don't put them back on until the end of September.
Right? Yeah.
Had to put on socks. It's like,
Ugh.
wow.
I know, it's like a socks
Got
are
the
tough.
Chaco tan on your feet.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. River time will be good. I probably won't be kayaking this year because of the back, but I'm hoping I can get on the river. I've got another Grand Canyon trip coming up in November, middle of November this year, which I'm really, really excited about.
I love it that you share those canyon trips on the river and stuff. I live vicariously through your pictures and stuff. It's like, that is so cool.
The Grand Canyon's definitely a special place. I've been down 3 times now.
Has it changed you mentally, spiritually going down that? Because I've heard a bunch of people doing it, and it's like you go on like these, I want to say 21-day raft trips. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I've done like an overnighter.
Yeah.
21 days, you got to go back different. Disconnecting from everything electronic for 3 weeks.
It's hard to put into words, you definitely I don't think it's possible for anyone to go down the Grand Canyon regardless of time frame and not be changed. I mean, I think the commercial trips you can go on, if you go and pay to go on a trip, are anywhere from like 8 days to 18 days or whatever, and you're with a guide and all that stuff. And then private trips you can do 16 days to up to 30 days depending on the time of the year. But I would say, like, how do I even put that into words? There's so many unique experiences you can have down on the Grand Canyon, and a lot of them really have to do with 2 things, and that is your own perspective and the people you're with. That, I think, is the foundation of everything, because the canyon itself, like, it changes a little bit, but it's pretty consistent as far as, it's not changing a whole lot. I mean, besides its normal fluctuations. But the things that change are the people and like the way that you view things. And I think about a lot. I'm really into mythology and storytelling, and you think about like David and Goliath and these like classic old stories. And anybody who reads a story has their own reflection, based on how they feel about the monster or whatever the antagonist is in the story, right? And so I think the river and the circumstances that arise become these like obstacles, so they become these like fantastical creatures that you have to then face and overcome in some ways. And so there's like almost like a hero's journey aspect of it, where it's like, you're first taken out of everything you're in this ditch a mile deep in the earth with a bunch of people and gear and everything you're going to need for that time period, and that's it. Once you're off, like, you're not getting anything else. You're not, you've got what you've got. And so when you come up to those, like the first big rapid is House Rock. And it's not a super difficult rapid to run, but it's really intimidating because, you're driving a really heavy boat usually. You're on the oars, and like, especially if you're rowing. And I definitely row my own boat when I'm down there. And these boats weigh thousands of pounds, and you come up and you pull over and you scout, so you like pull everybody over, and you're all talking about what lines you're going to take, and everybody's got different ideas. You've got your like really seasoned people that are thinking about it the way they're thinking about it. You've got your newbies who are losing their minds, and and the people that are like the passengers who are just kind of there going like, I don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, you can make all these plans, right? You can have all these intentions, and then the river is going to have its say at the end of the day, no matter what. I mean, you know, you're not stronger than the river. You're not going to overcome it.
But you've learned how to read the river.
Yeah, and you can read the water, but it's immutable. It's not static. So, like, you know, the way that water moves is, you know, especially in waves, you know, it'll kind of like, you know, pulse, where it'll like come up and crest and then break and then crest and break, and the boil lines are moving. So even though you can kind of read the water, it's also changing every second. So it could change right before you do what you think you're going to do, right? And everything could change. So you can plan for the best, and sometimes that doesn't happen. And
literally have to go with the flow.
Literally have to go with the flow. And you have to adapt, and there's this like anticipation, you know, of coming up to the rapid, and then there's like the moment of truth where you're like, either you realize you're in the right spot or you're not. And if you are, and you hit that sweet spot and you like come through and it's all good, there's a moment of celebration. And then if you make it through and you watch your friends flip behind you, and then there's like the rescue effort. And, you know, you have to rely on each other, and you have to get along. Like, I think the one thing that probably ruins, maybe not ruins, but definitely adds a negative aspect to Grand Canyon trips is people. You know, if you've got somebody with a bad attitude, or someone who isn't community minded, or who doesn't want to help, or, you know, is just in a bad state of mind, like, you're 12 to 16 people in camps, and like you're interacting with sometimes other people, but like it becomes a tribe, and it becomes very like,
you're dependent on each other.
Yeah, and what happens affects one person, affects everybody.
Good vibes only on the river.
I think, like we were saying before, it's more about how you react to the negativity, right? So, like, if somebody's having a really hard day, or, like, something's wrong, like, you know, you don't want to ignore that. You want to take care of each other. And if somebody's, like, just being an ass, and, like, there's nothing you can do about it, then, yeah, you got to make a decision to just, like, ignore that person and go on your way about things. But it's inescapable. You know, you can't get away. And there's definitely, I've never been on a trip where there was, like, an actual, like, mutiny, but they happen for sure. But usually I come out of the canyon feeling like a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Renewal for sure, but like a sense of rhythm, where your life becomes very simple. It's, you get up in the morning, you make coffee, you make breakfast, you pack up your gear, you rig your boats, you get on the water, you run your rapids, you pull over for lunch, you get on the river again, you run the rapids again, and you pull over for camp, and you break down and set up camp, and you cook dinner, and you tell stories, and then you just repeat that for 3 weeks or whatever.
Sounds wonderful.
It is. And sometimes crazy shit happens. Okay, I've got a crazy Grand Canyon story for you. So on my last private trip I did, which was this summer in July, I was so lucky that my cousin, actually, who's the one who got me into boating in the first place, she pulled a permit. And she's in her early 50s, and she was a guide here on the Arkansas, like, in the early 90s. So she's kind of part of that, like, OG Arkansas guide crew. And so on that trip, we had, like, 7 or 8 just absolute legends, like boating legends. And I got to go on this trip. And conveniently, like 10 days before this happened, I was at Trace, and I was dancing in my chacos, and I caught an edge in my chaco and rolled my ankle and like sprained my ankle super bad. And so I went down the Grand Canyon with a boot on.
No way.
Yeah, I did.
You survived. Did it work?
I mean, I didn't wear it on the rapids days or like in the boat. I wore like a soft brace. I mean, it sort of works still. I don't know. It wasn't great, but so I was feeling all kinds of things about, you know, feeling insecure about my ability and like worried about, you know, being able to drive a boat and all this stuff. Anyway, it was fine. So on like day 5, we're camped at this really beautiful camp, and we had pulled over kind of early. And during this time of the year, it was so hot. Like, it was like 120 degrees down there. So in the afternoons, we'd pull over early and just like hang out in the shade and swim in the water, and like, you know, we're not doing anything until the sun goes down. Anyway, after we have dinner, everyone's like definitely been drinking. There's very loud music playing. They're really obsessed with Widespread Panic. And so just like a lot of that going on. And finally at about, I think it was like 8 or 9 or something at night. And one of the older guides was like, it's a full moon. And we've got this giant eddy. Do you guys want to do some full moon laps? And I'm like a very cautious boater. I'm very like risk averse, okay? And there may or may not have been psychedelics involved in this experience. I can't confirm or deny that. So we're like getting these bright ideas, and these two guys are like, yeah, let's do it. Let's strap 2 of these boats together, and let's do an eddy lap. And I'm like, oh my God. And everyone's saying yes, and I'm like, no guys, we can't do this. It's so dangerous. And eventually I'm like, crap, they're gonna go without me or not. I better go. So they strap these 2 giant 18-foot rafts together with all the gear off of them. And there's 16 of us on these 2 boats, and we're just laughing and like, you know, you float out into the current, and then you like catch the bottom of the eddy and you do like a big circle. So the first circle, we come back around, they're like, we didn't get far enough. And I'm like, oh my God. And downstream of us, there's this commercial trip camped, okay, just downstream. So now we go out in the current again, and we're floating. And I'm so nervous. I'm like shaking, trembling, like laughing and shaking and trembling. And I'm kind of towards the back of the boat. And we come around, we're in the current, and then all of a sudden there's a shift. And I'm like, guys, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make the eddy. What? Oh my God, start pulling now. Go. And the 2 guys on the oars, so there's like one guy on one oar and one guy on the other oar because the boats are strapped together like this. And so both of these guys are like wrenching as hard as they can, as hard as they can. I'm like, now we're fighting the current. I'm like, we are not going to make it. All of our stuff's like a quarter mile upstream. Like, what is going to happen? And again, psychedelics may or may not have been part of this experience. So I am freaking out. And everyone else is laughing, like thinking it's funny. And I'm like, this is not okay. And so they're going as hard as they can. We're starting to like, we really got speed now. And again, 2 giant 18-foot boats. And we're coming into shore fast. I look behind me and I'm like, oh shit. There's those big S-rigs, the commercial boats. We're going to ram into this commercial trip. And I'm again freaking out, like, holy crap. And everyone realizes. And so we slam into this big S-rig, like, motor boat. And everyone's like, Shareena, grab the boat. And I'm like, no, I can't grab it. And so everyone's grabbing the D-rings of this boat. And then this little tiny guy pops up, and she's like, I was wondering why y'all shut the hell up. And she looks at us and she's like, are there any commercial guides on that boat? And everyone's dead silent. And my cousin Jen, she's like, hi, I'm Wally. Can we walk up your boat to our boat? Can we use this as like a ladder? And she's like shaking her head, like getting her throw bag out. She's got her life jacket on, like preparing for us to just be washed away downstream in the middle of the freaking night. And so we're like hand over hand pulling ourselves over this commercial S-rig. And then all of a sudden I see all the guests have got their headlights on and everyone's shining their lights at us. And I'm just like mortified, right? And everyone else is laughing their asses off. And so finally we pull ourselves, we have to like walk the boat in the eddy and like swim it back up.
Quarter mile.
Oh my God. And back to camp. We tie the boats up and everyone just goes to sleep. No one talks about it. And the next morning, apparently, Spike had taken a nice bottle of tequila and delivered it to the ladies on the commercial trip. But yeah, I'll never forget that. That was my one and only full moon float.
Story.
Ugh.
Hey, I could admit Moonlight Eddie. That'd be a good song name.
Right? Yeah, Moonlight Eddie.
There's a song in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good old Grand Canyon.
You told me you wrote an original song. Would you like to play it?
Sure, I'll play it.
First time on Kayan, guys, her original song. It's great. She played part of it before we started.
Yeah, I can play it. This is the first song I've ever written to completion. And this one has a little bit of a story to it as well. As we were talking about, I'm recently sober. So the song's called I'm Sober and I'm Sorry. And this song is really, it's obviously about me, but it's also about, I think, sort of a category of people who feel like they're too much and feel like the world's always asking them to be less. And so the song is for those people. And it came about, I'm trying to cry, but one of my friends recently passed away, and her service was last week, Brianna Wankura, and so I wrote this song after she passed away, and it's kind of my song to her and what we connected about, and also, again, you know, my song to those people that feel like they're too much. So yeah.
You've heard it here on Kahan first. Excited.
Let's see. Okay, I'll make sure I have this. I might mess it up, but we'll do our best.
You're fine.
Thank you. I'm gonna take off these headphones again. All right. Again, this is called I'm Sober and I'm Sorry. And I just also want to give a quick shout out to Alex Johnson, because he came over and like helped me turn this song from like a weird poem to like an actual song. So thank you,
Alex. So cool.
Yeah, I just like randomly ran into him and I was like, hey, do you mind helping me with the song? And he's like, sure, I got a mandolin lesson. I'll be over in an hour. I was like, okay, I didn't expect you to say
he's
yes.
playing this Monday up at Ivy. I think I'm going to go up there.
Oh,
and
nice.
him. I haven't heard him play in a long time.
Okay. Lately, I've been alone, watching my thoughts and fears flow, instead of pretending to go. I'm sorry I can't go out tonight. I'm saying goodbye to the bottle and hello to quiet nights. I'm sorry I'm done running away. I'm wearing my insides on the outside today. Goodbye, chaos, hello, scars. Oh, hello, darkness, I'll bring the light. Why is it so painful to be so alive? Why can't I be all of me? What happened if you tried? But where do you go when music makes you cry? Get out of your head and back in your heart. I'd rather be a candle alone in the dark. Oh, where do you go when all the other dies? And is it so terrible to be so alive? Calm down, you're way too much. Too much of your inside is on the outside. Please cover it up. I'm sorry if I've been too much. I've learned to say I'm sorry and keep my feelings quiet, but I'll choose love anyway. And will you choose love today? If you like, I'll show you the way. It's okay if you're not okay. Well, I hate myself for the pain that I left to your gate. The pain of hurting someone with too much to say. It's a gift, she said, just a sleight of hand. But the wrapping can be painful for some to understand. And I'm sorry I hurt you. My gift is my verity, but I won't play a role in your complicity. I'm sorry my light reminds you of the dark. I'd rather be too much. I won't hide my scar. So get out of your head and back in your heart. Remember to feel what you set apart. Oh, where do you go when all the other dies? And is it so terrible to be so alive? And am I too much, or you just not enough? Will you turn to the bottle
very heartfelt lyrics. I
Maybe.
love it.
I can breathe again now.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it's
Now that
great.
it's over.
It's anticipation and excitement. Not anything negative.
I love that song.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it means a lot to me to be able to play it here. So, thank you.
That's very cool.
Should I play another one? What do you think?
We got 8 minutes.
I think I could play another one.
Yeah, please do.
Let's see. What should I? I'll do. Yeah, that one. Let's see, what do I feel like playing? I'm gonna close this one. I'm distracted. I think St. James Infirmary. It's probably the one you heard me play back that I played. So. Just pull up my notes here real quick. Yeah, Jim, we got to get you on a river trip.
I like that. I've never experienced a big river yet. So.
Man, it's a totally different experience, but it's so special. Like you feel really connected. I feel like, to something greater than yourself, and you just realize, how small we are, but also like how much of a difference, we can make.
I have some good friends that are going on the river Wondergrass trips. Is it the Dinosaur River up there?
Oh, you have friends going on that? Yes.
Yeah, Clark and Rebecca are going on that. It's
man.
I mean, it's like an excursion. Everything's set up for you. They cook the dinner.
Oh, yeah.
You get there and the camp's set up, and it's like,
right.
Oh my gosh, maybe next year. It's like it's a little
pricey.
pricey.
You should go on that. Oh my God. And whenever I know some of the members of Fruition have done that in the past too.
You have a band play for you. It's like
right.
That's pretty cool.
Right. Remember my chords.
This is the song I remember.
Yeah. I love this song. So this is a kind of a weird intro to the story, but my mom passed away when I was young, and she used to sing me lullabies all the time when I was a kid. And there's this one lullaby that, like, I can remember what the song's about, but I've looked it up. I've tried to find this hymn, and I can't find it for the life of me. So it's going to be this perpetual mystery. However, this song always makes me feel like that song. And I don't know if it really was this song that she was singing to me, but when that feeling of like having someone sing to you, like that's my kind of like musical like heart, I suppose, that like I want other people to feel like they're being sung to, like I did when I was a kid. So here we go. Well, I went down to that old Joe's barroom in the corner by the square. The usual suspects were gathered, and old Joe McKinney was there. Well, he was standing at my shoulder, his eyes all bloodshot red, and he turned to that crowd around him, and these are the words he said. When I went down to that St. James Infirmary, and I saw my baby there, all stretched out on a long white table. Oh, so cold, so proud, so bare. Yeah, let her go, God bless her, wherever she may be. She may search this whole wide world over, but she ain't never found a man like me. So when I die, Lord, I I got those hands. Well, I went down at St. James Infirmary, and I saw my baby there. She was stretched out on that long white table, was so cold, so proud, so bare. Can't let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she may search that whole world over, but she ain't never find a sweet man like me. Oh, not like me.
Woo! I love it. Thank you, Shareena.
Yeah, thank you so
Man,
much.
I am so grateful to have you in the studio, finally.
I know, you've been asking me for a while.
And she finally did it. Yeah. She's playing at 6 o'clock at the Joshua Bean Gallery on
5:30.
F Street. 5:30?
5:30.
I got it wrong.
That's okay, we just changed it.
Okay. I thought I had it right.
Yeah,
Hey, it always
5:30.
changing.
Yeah, 5:30 to 7:30.
Man, how did you get into music?
My mom used to sing to me when I was a kid and stuff, and when she died, when I was 13, I inherited her guitar, and so I started taking lessons at that point. And I was in choir and stuff in high school, and had the classic experience of my choir teacher telling me that he wasn't going to promote me to intermediate choir. I had to stay in beginner again, and I was just like, well, I must be a terrible singer. I can't do this. Well, when you're a kid and
Yeah.
you're sensitive, and so I didn't sing for a while, and then after my dad died, I needed an outlet for something, so I started taking vocal lessons at that point and started doing open mics.
Got an incredible voice.
Thank
What
you.
kind of influences have influenced your style of music?
I would say vocally, my favorites singers are Dinah Washington is one of my favorites. Rachel Price from Lake Street Dive, and then I just really love bluesy country music that makes you feel less alone.
Very good.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got 2 seconds. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you so much, Jim. Yeah, no problem making the hour.
We did it.
Yay!
That was fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love having live interviews.